Erika Jayne headed to trial over a $24 million civil lawsuit. Erika Jayne has scored some wins, getting dismissed from a few lawsuits related to her estranged husband Tom Girardi's fraud case. However, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star just got bad news regarding a $24 million lawsuit. Reports claim she will have to face trial in a civil case filed against her by one of Tom's bankruptcy trustees. The news follows Erika's reaction to her estranged husband's guilty verdict in the RHOBH Fennel episode. In 2024, Tom was found guilty on 4 counts of wire fraud after being accused of a year-long scheme embezzling tens of millions of his clients' money. The now disbarred lawyer allegedly diverted the money from his firm and used it for ineligible expenses. A press release from the U.S. Attorney's Central District of California claimed the 85-year-old diverted over $25 million to his wife Erika's entertainment company, EJ Global. Is RHOBH star Erika Jayne going to trial? That's a yes, according to a report from the U.S. Sun. The media outlet stated that the latest development comes after Alyssa Miller, one of Tom Girardi's bankruptcy trustees, filed a civil lawsuit against the RHOBH star in September 2021 for over $24 million. It alleges that she knew Tom's firm, Girardi Keese, was secretly paying her expenses for over a decade, from 2007 to 2020. The trustee argued that the Pretty Mess singer used Tom's personal American Express credit cards to pay for expenses she incurred while pursuing her entertainment career. Alyssa's legal team said Tom paid for the charges and invoices, which were allegedly recorded on his books and records as advances, loans. Erika is now reportedly facing trial after Judge Ann Huang was assigned to the case, with a trial date soon to be set in the district court. Tom Girardi has not yet been sentenced. Tom Girardi's health has deteriorated over the years, and in 2021, he was diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's. After his guilty verdict, he was ordered to undergo a psych evaluation at a federal medical facility by District Judge Josephine L. Stanton. The results will help her to decide whether the disbarred attorney should be sentenced to prison for his crimes or spend the rest of his life in a healthcare facility. According to the Los Angeles Daily News, Tom underwent a 6-week evaluation, but now the attorneys for both sides can't agree on a date for the hearing to discuss the results. Prosecutors at the U.S. Attorney's Office are pushing for the hearing to be in LA federal court, no later than April 11. However, Tom's federal public defender, Samuel Cross, has opposed that date and is pushing for May 16. Tom Girardi's sentencing date will be set after the court discusses the mental health evaluation. Erika Jayne, the dazzling yet controversial star of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, is once again making headlines, but this time it's not for her high-energy performances or lavish lifestyle. The reality TV star and pop singer is officially headed to trial over a massive $24 million civil lawsuit that threatens to further unravel the luxury and mystique surrounding her once glamorous world. For years, Erika has been entangled in a legal nightmare stemming from the alleged fraudulent dealings of her estranged husband, Tom Girardi. The disgraced former attorney, whose law firm Girardi Keese was once a powerhouse in Los Angeles, has been accused of embezzling millions of dollars from settlement funds meant for victims, including widows, orphans, and those affected by the 2018 Lion Air crash. While Girardi himself is facing criminal charges, the question that has loomed large over Erika is whether she knowingly benefited from the stolen funds. The $24 million question. The $24 million lawsuit that Erika is now facing directly alleges that money from Girardi Keese was funneled into her company, EJ Global LLC, which funded her extravagant lifestyle. From designer couture to high-end jewelry in her famed Erika Jayne persona, everything was allegedly bankrolled by money that was never rightfully hers. While Erika has repeatedly denied any knowledge of her husband's shady dealings, legal experts argue that ignorance may not be enough to shield her from liability. The civil lawsuit is set to determine whether Erika should be held accountable for the staggering sum, and if found guilty, she could be forced to pay up, dealing a devastating blow to her financial future. From Beverly Hills to the courtroom. For someone who has made a career out of living in excess, Erika's legal troubles have painted a starkly different picture of her reality. Gone are the days of private jets and million-dollar glam squads. Instead, she now faces depositions, court hearings, and the ever-present scrutiny of both legal professionals and Housewives fans alike. Adding fuel to the fire, her co-stars and the RHOBH audience have watched her go through this battle in real time. Some castmates have voiced their skepticism about her claims of innocence, while others have shown sympathy. Meanwhile, the reality show itself has become an unintentional documentary of her unraveling legal woes. In one of the most talked-about seasons of RHOBH, Erika's storyline became centered around her legal battles, leading to fiery confrontations and tearful breakdowns. Yet, as the cameras rolled, questions continued to mount. Did she truly not know where the money was coming from? Was she just another victim of Girardi's deceit, or was she complicit in the scheme? A high-stakes trial. With the case officially headed to trial, Erika is gearing up for what could be the most defining moment of her life. Legal analysts speculate that her defense team will continue to argue that she had no knowledge of Girardi's misconduct. However, the prosecution will likely aim to prove that even if she wasn't directly involved in the fraud, she knowingly lived off illicit funds and should be held accountable. If Erika loses, the consequences could be devastating. Beyond the financial burden of a $24 million judgment, her public image would suffer an even more severe blow. The XXPEN singer has already had to downsize her lifestyle significantly, moving from a sprawling mansion to a more modest home, shedding the over-the-top extravagance she once flaunted so proudly. But if the court rules against her, she could face the potential liquidation of assets, garnished wages, and a tarnished reputation that may never fully recover. A reality TV reckoning. The Real Housewives franchise is no stranger to legal scandals, from Teresa Giudice's prison stint for fraud to Jen Shah's conviction for running a nationwide telemarketing scheme. Erika is just the latest in a long line of Bravo stars facing the long arm of the law. However, what sets her case apart is the sheer scale of the alleged fraud and the moral implications of benefiting from money that was meant for vulnerable victims. Throughout it all, Erika has maintained a defiant stance. She's declared her innocence on camera, fought back against critics, and even fired off sharp-tongued clapbacks at her castmates. But as the reality of a courtroom showdown sets in, her bravado may be put to the ultimate test. What comes next? As Erika Jayne prepares to step into court, the world will be watching closely. Will she be able to prove her innocence, or will she be forced to face the consequences of her husband's alleged crimes? For now, the pretty mess singer remains caught between two worlds, one of luxury and one of legal peril, and as the gavel looms over her fate, the final verdict could mark the most dramatic chapter yet in her already headline-grabbing life. The Real Housewives franchise is no stranger to legal scandals, from Teresa Giudice's prison stint for fraud to Jen Shah's conviction for running a nationwide telemarketing scheme. Erika is just the latest in a long line of Bravo stars facing the long arm of the law. However, what sets her case apart is the sheer scale of the alleged fraud and the moral implications of benefiting from money that was meant for vulnerable victims. Throughout it all, Erika has maintained a defiant stance. She's declared her innocence on camera, fought back against critics, and even fired off sharp-tongued clapbacks at her castmates. But as the reality of a courtroom showdown sets in, her bravado may be put to the ultimate test. What comes next? As Erika Jayne prepares to step into court, the world will be watching closely. Will she be able to prove her innocence, or will she be forced to face the consequences of her husband's alleged crimes? For now, the pretty mess singer remains caught between two worlds, one of luxury and one of legal peril, and as the gavel looms over her fate, the final verdict could mark the most dramatic chapter yet in her already headline-grabbing life.